UFO sightings are on the rise this year. The Department of Defense confirming at least some of the photos are real. So what are we actually seeing? One researcher has a different take on this phenomenon. This is Gaia News. UFO sightings by civilians and military have been in the headlines recently. But one researcher says he has a theory as to what we are really seeing. If you look closely at these pictures, you can see sphere-like crafts. In his book, Quantum Paranormal, Patrick Jackson argues the spheres are actually here to protect us.
What I think these objects are the same things of what the pilots came into contact with during the 1940s. They generally operate at 100,000 feet in lines and clusters. And there's a cluster of, say, 50 of them, and they all fly together as a swarm. So you have type 1, type 2, and type 3s. The type 1s operate at 100,000 feet. What they appear to do is control access to Earth's airspace. And they intercept, how can you say, like external groups and interests, or, hostile UFOs. There's a question out there that people ask is, where are all the aliens? And it's like, well, what if they've been kept out? And this system appears to keep them out. Type 2s are smaller, they operate in woodlands. People see them as balls of light. And then the type 3s operate in buildings. And they're effectively a communication system, like a satellite in reverse, which also they're primarily responsible for poltergeist activity.
An extraterrestrial artificial intelligence network? How do they communicate with each other?
You have swarms of these objects over, say, one part of the country, and another swarm at the other side of the country. And then when something comes in, they can't communicate with each other, so they relay it off the ground. So once that data link is established, then they can basically communicate with each other, identify the target, triangulate on it, and intercept it at the same time. So it allows a very stealthy intercept of these objects. There has been many videos of the UFOs getting blown up in the sky. Many people have caught them on camera. There's been many pictures of these little spheres surrounding the crafts. The most recent one was the US Navy photographs with that weird triangle-looking craft. And if you look closely, you'll see 3 spheres surrounding it, triangulating on it. Every time one of these crafts are detected, these will go in, triangulate on it, and then they will basically tell it to leave or it gets blown up.
If this extraterrestrial AI network is threatening other aliens with destruction, how do they know who to keep out?
I believe they use a thing called rule-based artificial intelligence. How that works is that it'll have a set of rules and a set of facts it goes by, and then the artificial intelligence will be triggered by a particular observation, and then it will have a pre-coded outcome. So most of the time it runs autonomously, but now and again I think it is controlled manually as well. And I think that the AI isn't perfect. I think it makes mistakes, and I think it sometimes intercepts the wrong things. That, by the way, is why when it comes to paranormal and ghost stuff like that, or poltergeist, they all generally behave the same way. They always have the same patterns, same mechanisms at work all around the world.
What can we hope to learn about extraterrestrials and paranormal phenomenon by understanding how these spheres work?
It's important to understand what they are and what they do and their reason. I mean, from what I can tell, aliens do exist and they are out there, but you have a lot of friendly ones and some hostile ones. And basically this system keeps the hostile ones out, or at least tries to. And the thing is that you have to, once you understand how the architecture works, it explains just about every effect that people see in these haunted houses and up in the sky as well. And the truth is that once we start going to Mars and SpaceX landing, I think these this system's going to become very apparent very quickly. And I think the military have been dealing with it for a long time. They haven't really known what they've been looking at, or at least they're not completely sure.
Is there any reason people should be concerned about the sphere system?
I believe that people shouldn't be afraid of this system. It's been with us for a very long time, and I think it's doing its best to keep us out of trouble, actually. It does have byproducts, it does have problems, and it does its best to warn us away from danger. But at the same time, I've heard of many positive encounters as well, where people can actually summon them and do all sorts of things. The people, whoever controls it or anything, I have no idea. However, I do think that these objects have been with us since biblical times, as there are these spheres are actually depicted in the Bible. So it could be the same thing, might not be, who knows.
Patrick Jackson's theory that extraterrestrial aerial spheres are using Earth as a communication relay to protect humanity may sound like science fiction, but more research must be done. Till then, we remain open to the possibility. For a new perspective, this is Gaia News.